will be no Monday blahs in these parts, so I will say thanks for checking out the Sportsline Podcast. I'm Bubba O'Neil. Hey, I'm always so proud to say that Southern Ontario is the place for passionate, dedicated athletes, executives, broadcasters, and in today's case, someone who continues to display never-ending commitment to the community. Well, if you spent any time, especially in a sporting event in the city of Hamilton, you are no stranger to this friendly face. From offering his assistance to the Tiger Cats, Bulldogs, and most recently the Cardinals, Dylan Atack has become the fabric of those franchises. In addition, he's the co-host and producer of his own cable TV show and has interviewed, superstars of all types. It's no reason why he's known to many as the real mayor of Hamilton. Dylan Atack, I mean, we would have liked to have you on the Sportsline Podcast much earlier. We had planned, but you're a real busy guy, apparently.
I am. Well, thanks for having me, Bubba.
It's great to have you here, you know, and I'll tell you, because it's so true that you do go to a sporting event and you have been around. What is it about sports that you love so much?
First off, you know, I sports, you know, and the city of Hamilton, it's the best thing. You got the Hamilton Cardinals and Hamilton KOTBs and the Tiger Cats, and even Brantford Bulldogs, and it's fun, getting out there and hanging around fun people and getting to meet lots of new faces.
Well, and was this part of, something that you, as a much younger guy, you just fell in love with sports itself?
Yes, it's funny, when I was 13 years old, I started riding my bike down to the old Ivor Wen Stadium, and when Bob Young first bought the team in 2004, I believe, I was the first one outside of the stadium, and I said, "Hey, I know you, you're Bob Young." And so that's how I got in with the Ticats, helping out at practices with the equipment staff. Shout out to Drew and Justin, they are phenomenal to work with, and it's been fun.
Let's talk about the serious part here, and I think it's important to discuss this. That you were born with autism, but that's never been a roadblock for you.
Nope, never in my life. No.
Why is that? What is in your in terms of your mental approach and the way you approach life? Why has it never been a block for you?
I always think of going out there every day and always say positivity never takes a day off.
Well, and that was really displayed during COVID for me. You were on the attack on social media, making sure that everyone did their jobs, right?
Yes.
Why was that important to you?
Because, I missed, being outside and getting to hang out with my friends and all that. And I felt, if we can do our part, we can get back to, a more sociable, way of life.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it was like, because it was so difficult for so many of us. And with having autism, and it's special to me because I do have my little guy has got autism, right? My little nephew, and I see some of the challenges he's gone through, and he's much younger than you. But what would you tell to anyone with autism in terms of getting out there and living what clearly you are living an enjoyable life?
I'd say just take every day and always be happy. And
well, I tell you, everyone that I know that knows you says that this guy
never have a bad day.
Never have a bad day. That is a consistent that we have heard for so long with so many people. Let's get back to the Tiger Cats here. So you show up with the Tiger Cats and say, "I want to be involved." So how did that? I mean, because you've been now with them for how long?
For my goodness, over like 20 years and counting, I believe.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So what would be your? I mean, when you began, what were your responsibilities?
My responsibilities. So I set up the field for practice, getting on the field, set up for practice for the coaches, and then during practice I hold the yardsticks at practice, and then afterwards I do laundry, help them help wash the laundry, and then on game days I'm always on the visiting team side, and I look after the visiting team on game days.
That's fantastic. What about your relationship with the players? I mean, obviously, these are the things that a lot of people, fans, don't get to see, because, I mean, I'm one of the privileged ones as well, too, being part of the media, that you get to see practice. You see the players on a different light in practice compared to the game days, don't you?
Oh yeah, they're phenomenal to be around with. Like, we always have fun telling jokes and listening to music as well. So it's a privilege. It's a blast.
Well, there's been so many players. I mean, is there a favorite out there?
Oh my goodness!
Sorry,
too many to name. I'm gonna maybe Dave Stala. He was a funny guy. And Simone, of course. Yeah. Peter Dykowski.
Oh, another nut bar.
Yeah.
That's so fun. And, you know, these guys, and let's be honest, too, sometimes practice can be very, very serious as well, too. Have you been able to navigate that time and say, hey, there's times for joking around and times when, you know, maybe you see what's going on at practice sometimes. And even the players and coaches sometimes may not be that friendly. I know we get it in the media a little bit. But you can tell that, can't you, sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes. But, you know, but they are very most fun. I always try to make them happy every day.
Well, it's amazing when you talk to Tiger Cats of the past and your name continues to come up. So you've obviously left some type of legend, if not anything, with and an impression and positivity. I hear it so consistently. And one of the reasons why we so wanted to have you here on the Sportsline Podcast to talk about this. Now, it's spread, though. Now, the Tiger Cats aren't the only thing, as we've discussed earlier. What about the Bulldogs? How'd you get involved with the Bulldogs?
Bulldogs, yeah. I started back in, I'd say, 2003, 2004, same time like when I was with Ticats, and I started volunteering in the Kids Fun Zone in the low bowls of Cops Coliseum, and then I worked my way up a couple years later following Bruiser around, being his security mascot detail, making sure... Make
sure he doesn't get pushed around.
And if any kids want autographs, you know, I'd have a Sharpie in hand so he could sign autographs.
And I also noticed that you were doing some things at the beginning of games too.
Yes, getting the crowd pumped up and all that jazz.
Give me the start of the game if you can. Give me a start of the game, because I know there was you and someone else was doing it, or was it a different guest all the time?
I think Brian he used to be the MC for the Bulldogs, so we'd always say, "Let's go Bulldogs!"
It was good, and the fans would always respond, and it's always so fun. Okay, now as I said, people know who you are right now because of some of these sporting events. Have you become a kind of a star? Like, when you go around and, I don't know, in just your normal life, do you find that you have to stop kind of like the players and talk to chats?
Yeah, some like fans will say, hey, Dylan, how's it going? I'll be out at shopping mall. I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going?
That's amazing to me. And that's so good that because sometimes, as you know, we do have days where maybe we just don't want to talk to everybody. But I can imagine you're the kind of guy that just gives time for everyone.
Actually, I'll tell you a funny story. I was in Ottawa a couple of years ago for a Ticat game, and I went out for lunch with the former Premier, Dalton McGuinty, and a couple of Ticat fans were walking down the street, and they started waving at me, and Dalton goes, hey, I thought they were waving at me.
Who would wave at him? I mean, you're way more popular than that cat is, and I say that with all due respect, of course. He did a wonderful job for our province at one point there. Hey, now... the other part of things that really just interests me is two parts. Okay, we'll start with this. The Maple Leafs. What is going on with the Maple Leafs? Is that your favorite hockey team in the NHL?
I love the Maple Leafs. I love going. I love Matthews and all that. I love going down to the practice facility, meeting the guys down there too, and they're very nice. Mitch Mono, super nice too. And my other favorite team, I really like Sidney Crosby.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. I've seen some pictures with you. Okay. What I want to know, because we've been just rolling some pictures here of you with the Maple Leafs. I want to know what is your plan of attack here as you get up to how do you set this all up? Because you seem to get everybody.
Yeah. Well, the signs, my nativity signs always help the cause. My dad makes them up. Shout out to my dad. And I always stand at the ramp where they drive out, and a lot of them stop and sign my autographs.
Isn't that kind of neat? I mean, and then of course, once they do it once, then they know who you are, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Look at you. Well, I've never been a Leaf fan and don't plan to be one soon, but based on you and your love for them, I hope one day you get to see them win the Stanley Cup.
Yes, he was hoping.
Right, the good thing, though, Edmonton Oilers, we get to see the likes of a Hamiltonian, Darnell Nurse, maybe get one. That'll be fun to cheer for, won't it?
Yeah.
That will be. Hey, another thing that I've noticed, too, is if you take a look at any of your social media postings, let's just say that not only your sports is your love, you seem to have a good connection with celebrities. What's this all about? Now, here, Alex Trebek. What's your relationship with these guys?
Well, Alex Trebek, actually, for people that don't know, he was a Cat fan, a huge Cat fan. Peter Dykowski told me that. So I sent Alex Trebek a nice Cat jersey, and I used to write him letters, and he used to respond back all the time. I never got to meet him, but he was very nice and taking the time to write me back. And I think the biggest celebrity I've ever met was Her Majesty the Queen.
Wow, and we have some pictures there just of that.
And Prince Harry, yeah.
That's pretty big. You're talking royalty at this point right now. That's pretty amazing.
And believe it or not, the royals aren't allowed to take photos with anybody.
Well, they got pictures with you.
Yeah, and they're not allowed to take selfies, but Harry was very nice.
Yeah, I'm sure they were. I guess, again, they probably know, hey, that's a guy from Hamilton. Have to get a picture with him. Who's the biggest, is there a favorite? I know you talked about the Queen and the royal. What about, other celebrities? Who's your favorite?
I'd say probably my favorite, and I met him twice, and he gave me his hockey stick, Sidney Crosby.
Wow, okay.
One of the most down-to-earth sports people that you could ever meet.
What about celebrities?
Celebrities, I'd say the most nicest one, Richard Gere. Richard Gere was very nice.
Richard Gere?
Yeah.
That's high-end stuff, guy. That's
Richard Gere.
Academy Award-winning guy. That's amazing. How do you get in contact with them?
Well, I get tipped off from my sources when they're going to be filming in town. Actually, last week I was trying to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he wasn't in town filming. Well, his production was, but he wasn't in town, unfortunately. But it's always fun meeting celebrities.
You have better sources at entertainment than CHCH do. That's fantastic, because you find out about stuff. We're gonna have to get hooked up here. I'm gonna hook you up with our entertainment folks and get you out there doing some of these interviews for.
Gotta get Crosby on here.
Yeah, we get Crosby on here as well too. And you know what? It's funny that you say Sidney Crosby, because I would say I cheer for him, and we're not Pittsburgh, but I cheer for him as the kind of guy that, we grew up watching him as one of the young stars in the league. And now Sidney's not a young guy anymore, but he still carries himself with that class and dignity. He's been able to win, multiple Stanley Cups, and I want him to get one more. One more is the old guy, right? Yeah. And get that trophy back to Nova Scotia, where he's from. It would be so nice to see Cole Harbour, right? Would be with the place where he's from, and that would be real nice to see. Now, again, we talk about the celebrity thing as well too. I think I had heard something about Betty White was one of your favorites too.
Betty White too, yes. I wrote her 3 times before she responded back to me, and I finally got my autograph picture from Betty White. So
as we saw there in one of the CHCH reports we did, I think it was Adam Atkinson that came and visited you.
He did.
Is your whole room is just full of stuff, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yeah, I'm running out of room. I'm going to need a museum soon. Open up my own museum.
Wonderful thing here. I think there was one guy in that report that we did find out that you wanted to meet. I guess you're always a president, but yes. I guess we'll call him the former president of the United States. Did you ever get to meet Obama?
No, I would love to meet him still. I know his half-sister lives in Burlington. He's visited Burlington.
Yes.
Yes, so I would love to meet him. I think he would be an amazing inspiration to meet.
Well,
I've met Bill Clinton.
what?
Bill Clinton, former president. Bill
Okay,
Clinton.
tell me that. Tell me about this.
I had one of the sound technicians at the Tim Hortons Field said, "Hey, I got meet and greet tickets. Do you want to go meet Bill Clinton?" I'm like, "Sure." So he gave me 2 free tickets, and I went with my dad, and it was like a 5-minute in and out. And
What was that like?
he was nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Crazy. Like a president.
Yeah.
I've never met a president.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and not many of us have met a president.
Yeah.
Good on you. Unbelievable. So I guess I'll have to ask you now. Okay, you still haven't got to him. Who's the person that you want to next meet?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Well, I hear she's doing what, 4 or 5 shows in
6
Toronto?
shows.
There's 6 shows.
Yes.
So that gives you 6 opportunities,
Yeah.
and with your inside sources to
Yeah.
get downtown Toronto and
Yep.
meet her. Well, okay, what is it about Taylor Swift that says, you know what, I want to meet her?
I think she's an inspiration to young people and her music too.
Yeah, you like the music as well too.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Hey, you know what? I'll throw one more bone to you here that I'm so curious about. The importance of attitude.
Always never have a bad day. Always be happy and enjoy life and stay positive.
Those are great words to live by, and we certainly appreciate you coming in and tell us a little bit about your life, Dylan. I think it's and I will say this honestly, I remember you, as covering the Tiger Cats way back, and I think it was 2003, 2004, when Bob Young stepped in and you came around, and you were a wee bit guy like that there too, and thinking, who's this kid, right? And like you hung around, you've done your duties, you're so well respected around the league. I hope you know that. You are so well respected around the league. I can say that because I know that from players that say, even ones that leave town, and I think you know this too, guys that come back and say, hey, how's he doing? Is he still there with the team? And they have great memories of you. So keep doing what you're doing. You're an inspiration to many, the kind of people that we should all be looking up to, whether you have a disability or a learning disability or whatever the issue is. You've certainly done a great job. So keep doing what you're doing now that you're a big old man now.
Thanks, Bubba. Thanks for having me on your podcast. And subscribe to Bubba's podcast, everybody. The best podcast in Canada.
Thank you very much. That's the sales job that we need. Will you come back, bud?
Absolutely.
We appreciate it, bud.
We can have the Dylan Bubba podcast.
Well, yeah.
We'll have a lot of crowds here.
Well, yeah. I would like to be on your show, sir.
You can come on my show too.
I would appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Anytime, right?
Yes.
You send me that Zoom link anytime.
Absolutely.
I'll be there. All right, Dylan. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bubba.
Hey, folks. You know what? That's just another Sportsline podcast that we will put in the tank for the day. Hey, we're off to a great start for the week. And as you've just seen and heard, we love talking to passionate sports fans who represent so well in the community. And if you do know of an athlete, team, or event to promote, the Sportsline Podcast do want to hear from you. Please hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe button. And if you do have something to say it. For the talented folks that make the Sportsline Podcast possible, thank you so very much. And we'll see you soon.